It's empty. See? No monster in here. Well, now there is, but I'm not going to scare you.
The theme of hiding in closets in various forms of media is something I find very interesting. If you know me, then you know that anything to do with monsters, creatures, and cryptids of all kinds is right up my alley. Depending on the framing and the atmosphere, and obviously where applicable, in-game ability, a closet can either mean potential terror or a place of refuge. It might even mean both. Whatever their intended purpose, whatever the setting, real or fictional, I think it's a given that they are pretty well established as hiding places. Whether that is for people when playing games or avoiding danger, for objects or other secrets, and maybe one of the more well-known examples, hiding places for the well-known cliche of monsters that might be inside. I wanted to find where the concept of monsters in closets might have originated. I figured it wouldn't be too difficult. I look for the origins of monsters and myths and such all the time, and there's usually some vague answer at least. But this time was a little trickier to find anything, and to be honest, I decided not to be as thorough as I'd normally be, because as interesting as the concept is, it's not actually the main focus of the video. Maybe another time I'll look into it a bit more. In the end, I didn't find the origin of monsters in the closet, but I was eventually led to the idiom, skeleton in the closet, which I think most, if not all of us, are probably familiar with. Skeleton in the closet is, in simple terms, about keeping something a secret, something that might be unacceptable or taboo. You've probably heard it used like, everybody has skeletons in their closet. A skeleton in the closet is something we hide about ourselves, our family, or so on, that we don't want others to know out of fear of judgment, ostracization, and any other number of reasons. Something that's been kept hidden for so long it's rotted away until it's nothing but bones. Moving on from there, skeletons in the closet eventually led me directly to the term closeted. And again, I think we are all likely familiar with this term.
Get a load of this monster. He doesn't know how to communicate. His mind is in a different place. Will everybody please give him a little bit of space?
Hi. I spent so long debating how I wanted to make this video. How long or short it should be. If it should be more serious or on the funny side. I kept losing my nerve and thought I just shouldn't make it at all. But I want to. It's not necessarily a need, but it really feels like it. Because I don't know how many times I've tried to say some of the things I want to say, and it always comes out wrong. Or I say something really vague on purpose because I'm so scared to be too direct and get the reaction I'm afraid I'll get from the people I care about. People I'm afraid will just shun me and throw me out because they stop seeing me and just see a monster instead. I, unfortunately, care a lot about what people think of me. I pretty much always have. Hence the closet. Not that I was fully in it all the time. I came out about part of my identity to a couple of people years ago, once before. People who I would say care about me more than anyone else. But they didn't shun me or try to change me like I was afraid they would. And I had never felt so relieved. And it lasted for maybe a year before I came out to someone else. who then insisted that the other people I told were probably only okay with me coming out, because at the time I had told them I had been dating and planning to marry a man. I have had people deny that they would outright tell someone like me that they would go to hell, saying that it's wrong to say that to anyone. But then they would be openly judgmental, make jokes, or even be hostile about the same things on many other occasions without knowing I was one of those people being talked about. And when attempting to call out the out-of-place remarks and attitude without outing myself, I was called the hostile one and told I made the others feel attacked. I have had multiple interactions with other people I know where I attempt to make any kind of reference to my identity, and it's either glossed over, likely because they don't know, and that's understandable because it makes it easier to miss, or it's very bluntly shut down with something like, "You could never do that. That's not allowed for you." These, among some other incidents, has made it really hard to want to be out or accept other aspects of my identity, parts of myself at all, even privately. Parts that I had buried and denied for so long and had already accepted as real, but didn't want to fully accept by expressing myself in the ways I wanted to, because I still felt all this fear, especially now that I feel like I have to come out again and sort of establish or claim this part of me that I haven't really had the confidence to talk about ever before, or the right words for, and to reclaim the other parts too, because what if that person was right, and those other people I told didn't really accept me before, and now they'll accept me even less. And I know I have no obligation to come out at all, especially not like this. Nobody does. But I said this to the first few people I came out to privately years ago. It feels like I'm lying if I don't. Not to other people, but to myself. I've had multiple people who really want to hammer into my head when I've brought up coming out that nobody has to know, and it's nobody's business. But I know that, and for a long time, I felt like I was okay with that. Like I didn't have to tell anyone. That I was fine without giving myself definitive labels, and instead I could just be myself. But it doesn't feel like choosing not to come out is just being myself anymore. It feels like, by not coming out, it's making it easier for people, including myself, to just not acknowledge it. Or it's simply allowing people who don't know to label me how they want to, because they will, and they do. And some people might not think that's an issue, and maybe it's not for some people. But for some people it is. And it is for me. And I know that's not going to stop some people from denying who I am. I know there will still be people who make assumptions, and of course people who, once they know, look at me and see something wrong, a monster. But I've never been able to control what people think or say about me anyway. I have a history of hurtful things being said and assumptions being made about me based on my appearance, or tone, or posture since I was very young. So maybe I already have some experience with people seeing me as some kind of monster anyway. That doesn't make it easier. And I can't say I've made peace with the idea that this could just intensify that. There's nothing peaceful about it, but I guess I've just accepted that I can't change it. I can't change how people are going to judge me, but I can't change me either. Nobody can. So, if a monster from the closet is how I'm going to be seen, then maybe I just don't care. Like I said before, monsters, creatures, and cryptids have always been right up my alley. So, yeah, I am asexual, I am biromantic, and I am non-binary. There are explanations I can give for what all of that means, especially for me, and personal examples of how I became sure of all those things and so on. For those who don't know, that's not going in this video right now. Maybe in another one in the future I'll do a separate video. But this isn't meant to be a full breakdown of my personal queer experiences and how I got where I am. This video is really just to say, hey, there's a monster in my closet, hiding, scared of everything that might happen when I let them out, and that monster is me. This is not me asking for anyone to try and convince me to change, or to try and deny who I am. I've tried to do that enough to myself since I was very, very young. None of this is some kind of new or big epiphany to me. I know myself and have known about what I'm saying here for quite a while, relatively speaking in terms of my entire life. I'm making it known publicly now, as publicly as this can be considered, with as few people who will actually watch this. But it's not a brand new thing I suddenly decided on or discovered. But if you have more questions about this whole me and video that this is, that I just did, I will be live on Twitch today, immediately after this video premieres over. You can get more of a breakdown of stuff over there, and hopefully not me breaking down during the stream. So, yeah, I guess, depending on how you feel about me after this, I'll see you there. And if you're still here, thanks for watching. Peace.
Are you tired of me yet? I'm a little sick right now, but I swear when I'm ready I'll fly us out of here. I'll cut my hair to make you stare. I'll hide my chest and I'll figure out a way to get us out of here.